Yo, there we go. Hopefully the audio is actually being picked up and showing. Welcome back. This is the 5fi-racing.com Twitch. I was about to say YouTube, but we're on YouTube too. Currently on the 5fi-racing.com website. That's 5 the number 5fi-racing.com. We're gonna speed run through this because I started a bit late. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, we're just gonna go on SimGrid real quick. We're gonna hit up the GT2 championship. It's a new little mini series that we have tonight. As I'm adjusting everything, mic and whatnot. Hopefully that's not too loud. And anyway, today we're in Laguna Seca. As I said, we're speedrunning. Pit stops, this is the rule. Hopefully everything is all good and gravy today. So every race, there's at least one pit stop and there's a 20-minute pit window. During this pit window, all drivers must refuel for a minimum of 1 liter and there is no fixed refueling time. This means that tire strategy is going to be at play. Today though, in the rain in Laguna Seca, I'm not sure if changing tires would be... it could be worth it, could potentially not be worth it, but we'll let our drivers see take care of that. The rest of the things, you know, obey yellow flags, don't get penalties. Penalties are dumb. Code of conduct, be respectful, leave the space, you know, unless if there is you can leave the space, but if there's a gap and you no longer push for that gap, then are you really a racing driver? That's all I'm gonna say right there on that incident, or that, you know, incident reporting. Please report any incidents that you want, I guess. Not sure if standings are updated, but let's find out. They are. Okay, so in first place, we have Neil Kerbal with 25 points. Albert Tranchisi got second place, 21 points. Jeff Kelly, 16 points, third place. Max Power, 13 points, fourth place. Sam Staples, fifth place, 11 points. Brett Harno, sixth place, 10 points. Jacob Meyer, seventh place, 9 points. Kyle Busch, 8th place, 8 points, and then the rest of the field didn't race or didn't start or something happened, so they had 0 or negative points. Oh my, I am rushing things. Give me a moment, because I just forgot I didn't upload the race recap. Enjoy the music for a bit. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no shot. I cannot find. I have my race recap. I can't find it. I will momentarily just leave you here with the B-roll. What is up? Oh my. Excuse me while I transition again to resize and reframe everything. What is up? Why is everything out of whack? I'm so sorry. This is a scuff stream. So I might have lost the footage or misplaced it. I have the files, but not the actual recap itself. I found it. Oh my, that took absolutely forever. I am so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. This is the race recap. Give me a moment to get my bearings and adjust to everything. From what I remember in the beginning, I believe that was Sam Staples in the beginning who had a really good start. We also had Kyle Busch having a bit of a mistake. Kind of got pushed out by Sam Staples. This is off the top of my memory. I'm not officially looking at the screen, so I apologize if it's somewhere else, but you know. But we'll show what happened with Kyle Busch in a little bit. The remaining of the race, though, we had Neil Kerbel following Sam Staples right behind him, and I believe it was one of our other racers, Albert, I believe, who was also right behind them, trying to catch him up and everything. Anyway, now I'm back on the screen. This is, I believe, the replay with Kyle Busch. It is. As you'll see here, he kind of got squeezed out just a tad bit by Sam Staples, and then got a little bit too aggressive on the throttle, caused him to just momentarily wiped out and made him go off-road, unfortunately. He had a little bit of a slip-up coming back in the track, but recovered nonetheless. We had another one of our drivers, I believe that was Jacob Meyer. Started from the pits. Good recovery from Kyle Busch, though, and an unfortunate start for the race from him. On lap 2, we had an overtake between Brad Tarno and Max Power. And Brad over here pushing up against Max Power. Max makes a little bit of an issue, right, or mistake here. It looked like he tried to enter the pits, couldn't do it last minute. This ended up costing him 2 positions. Brad Tarno and Kyle Busch both managed to just slip on by. Rough mistake by Max Power. Good overtakes by the other 2 drivers, though. Lap 3, though, we had Kyle Busch pushing up against Brad Tarno, and this was actually a really good fight here. As you'll see here, Kyle Busch manages to get the switch back. What a nice display of driving right there. Good on both drivers, leaving the space, respecting each other's positions and everything. Good move done by Kyle Busch to secure that spot. In the same lap, though, Brad wasn't done with this. He was right up against Kyle Busch, putting the pressure. Kyle got a little bit of the grass that you saw there, managed him to shoot him extremely wide. This allowed Brad to reclaim his position back. A very good move by Brad, sticking very close by, waiting for Kyle Busch to make that one mistake. Good driving, good moves all around. Lap 11, we had an overtake with Sam Staples and Brad Tarno. This, from what I remember, it was you'll see this overtake happen here, but it felt like it was too easy, and Sam Staples also felt like that wasn't deserved. He slowed down to give the position back to encourage more fair and a better racing. Lap 17, we had Max Power overtake Jacob Meyer. And you'll see here, Jacob Meyer goes just a tad bit too wide, misses braking mark by just a little bit. This allowed Max Power to easily claim the position. Use that small mistake to his advantage, which was all you can really hope for. And especially driving around Suzuka, it's a very tiny, not tiny in terms of like track length, but tiny in terms of track width. There's not much room to go around, especially when you're side by side. Lap 19, Max Power and Brad Tarno. The same thing that happened before. Brad gave him the position. Max, though, he felt the exact same way. He was like, nah, get that position back and let me fight for this. So he gave the position back. Brad reclaimed it right here. Fair fighting, I guess. Fair racing. Good racing here. So an overtake between Albert and Kyle. This is where you'll see here Kyle Busch goes a little bit too far, too wide. Just misses braking marker by just the tiniest of margins. This allowed Albert to easily just claim that position. Very good driving by Albert. Unfortunate for Kyle Busch. Lap 20. You'll see here Max Power is right up along Brad Tarno, trying to get an overtake to happen. Brad goes a little bit too wide. Small mistake. Max Power seizes the opportunity to get right along. Unfortunately, though, he makes a mistake of his own. He doesn't, he misses his brake marker, shoots him a little bit too wide. Brad Tarno reclaims the position. In the very next lap, though, lap 21, Max Power trying to get that position back. He's getting very, very close from Brad. Brad making the smallest of mistakes. This allows Max Power to just get on by. If you're wondering what the mistake was, Brad went hit the grass or hit the dirt, so he just had to slow down just the tiniest bit. To be fair, though, it looked like he also just decided to let him pass since he was making a little bit too many mistakes. Didn't want to hold him up. Very good driving by both of them. Lap 25, Sam Staples and Brad Tarno. Sam on the attack, pretty much getting him on the inside of the final turn. Very good driving. That's what we love to see in 5FI Racing and .com. And this battle was actually very nice, very exciting to see. It wasn't shown or recorded in the race recap, but it was worth noting. This is the battle between Jeff Kelly and Albert Tranchisi. It was a pretty much one full entire lap of battling where Jeff was in front and just the smallest of mistakes that you'll momentarily see on the screen be displayed, like here, going a little bit too wide, having to compensate by slowing down. This allows Albert to catch up, and catch up he does. As you'll see here, he's right behind Kelly, not giving him an inch. Kelly going to have to go on the defensive for this entire lap. This is the entire lap that we're going to be showing, just because of how close of a battle it was. Albert had the run here, and looked to have wanted to be trying to make the move, but had to go take the outside line. Jeff Kelly doing an amazing job defending the inside line, not letting Albert take the advantage or get advantage of him. This allows Albert to stay right behind him. Good job by Jeff Kelly on that defense. Next couple of turns, though, I believe this is turn 16. Jeff Kelly goes a little bit wide on that corner right there. Albert hits the corner pretty spot on. With the slipstream, he's going to be right up alongside him. Jeff Kelly and him are going side by side on the 130R. This left-hander right here. Jeff Kelly gets the switchback, though. Amazing driving. See, foreshadowing what was going to happen to Albert. Unfortunately, though, both drivers end up going a little bit too wide. Jeff stopped on track, but to be honest, if he ran it. It was such a heated battle. If he managed to get, if he ran it and got second place, I'm pretty sure no one would have nicked him on that because both drivers went wide. As part of the, it's part of the spirit of driving. Really, it's that was a good battle, especially the end series. You see Albert start flashing him, and your race winner, Neil Kerbal, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to Neil. Absolutely love to see our new drivers take home the podium. That's what it's all about. 10 out of 10 driving. Pretty much had the pit strategy nailed down. This is what secured his victory. And pretty much the splash and the dash. Splash and dash. No tires for him. So, good job, Neil. We will go back to not the race recap. What is going on? The B-roll. As today we are in Laguna Seca. It is raining. It's going to be a wet one, ladies and gentlemen. I managed to sneak in a last minute and capture some recordings on the weather. And it is not what you're going to be expecting today. It is going to be a lot wetter. It actually looks like it's going to be a really big storm, to be honest. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the corkscrew in Laguna and all that stuff. While we're here though, and we're waiting for the race to start, quali has finished for our racers. So we'll check them out when they're lining up, when they're online, lined up on, you know what I mean, when they're about to touch track. Take a quick minute to show you the track walk and explain some nice interesting moments here, or some, you know, interesting facts. So today we're in Laguna Seca. Course mile is the overall course length is about 2.23 miles long, which is about 3.6 kilometers long. There's 11 turns, and the longest straight is 1,126 feet. This is pretty much the start-finish line. That's where the longest straight is, you can consider. The ideal setup that you would want would be a high downforce, medium to hard suspension. Why high downforce instead of something such as low? Is because of the technical aspect of this track. If you do not have the downforce, you will most likely have to compensate by reducing your speed, in which case it'll overall make you slower in the corners, just of how aggressive some of these corners are, even though some of them have nice bank angles. The key action areas will be turns 2, 5, 7, 9, 10, and 11. In these areas, we will be paying extra attention just to see what exactly goes down. Sometimes the drivers will make a mistake. Sometimes they might not. As we're going back to the live view. Currently, our drivers are lined up. As you can see, it's raining pretty decently. If you're watching live on Twitch, say hello. If you're watching the uploaded race on YouTube, also say hello. I like to check both streams out. See who talks, who chats, who's here. I don't bite, not yet, unless you want me to. Anyway, in P1. There we go. Sorry, in P1 we have max power. our host for this mini series. Nice to see him up in the field. P2 is a surprise to me. It's Albert Tranchisi. Usually we see him in P1, or in season 5 we saw him in P1. So it's nice to see a change of pace between to see other drivers like Max Power, and before him I believe it was Sam Staples who was in P1. Regardless, P2. Neo Kerbal, our race winner in Suzuka last week. He's in P3. Jeff Kelly, who had an amazing battle with Albert Tranchisi. He's in P4. Kyle Busch, the Bushmeister. He's in P5. Had a little bit of a rough start, but hopefully none of that happens this time around. Jacob Meyer moving up along the ranks. He's been improving steadily, which is always nice to see. It's good to see our fellow racers. I guess not really start. Well, you can say start from the bottom. If I mean everyone has to be at the bottom somewhere, sometime, someday, sometime in their life. I know I've been there. I've been there, done that. But it's nice to see that through time you'll get faster and improve, which is always a huge plus. We absolutely love seeing that. Anyways, happy talk alongside Jacob Meyer. He's in P6. Right behind him, we have Brad Tarno in the KTM. Can't remember. Oh, he was in the Mercedes, the Merc last week. Which I'm gonna be honest, the color scheme that he was running, it reminded me of one of our fellow drivers from season 5 and the other previous season. His name was Chris Unfair, part of Team Nacho Apex, with Kyle Busch, the Bushmeister. It was in my head. It was a little difficult seeing him in a Merc, and I've been wanting to call him Chris Unfair because of that. But nonetheless, good to see him in the KTM. Says he likes driving this a little bit better, so we'll see how he does overall. He's in P7. That's his Brad Tarno. Right behind him, we have Alexander Sabo, also in a KTM. He's in P8. It'll be interesting to see what kind of damage he does in driving this vehicle. And right behind him, finishing our grid in P9, we have Justin Fry, as our racers are going to be lining up for the race start. It's going to be a wild and a wet one, folks. A bunch of our drivers are lined up, or all of our drivers are lined up. It looks like no one is starting from the pits nicely. The green light is about to be lit. And we are off, ladies and gentlemen. The race has begun. Hopefully there is no turn 1 carnage. It is a pouring rain out here. We're going to switch to a helicopter view just to check out and see what exactly is going to go down. So far, everyone's being very respectfully. Jeff Kelly and Brad Tarno, though, they are fighting aggressively for that one position. Starting off the fighting very strong, I see here. We're going to be jumping throughout the whole grid and seeing exactly what goes down. Going from this view to a helicopter view, get the full perspective. Max Power remains in first, I believe. Brad reclaimed the position. Jeff Kelly fell behind just a tad bit. Everyone is still fairly close. No one is staying being left behind. As oh my, we'll jump back to the front. As there was almost a collision with one of our drivers. I believe that was Kyle Busch. I do need to set up my replay. I will be doing it right as I'm speaking. Leave you guys here watching the overview camera while I set this up. So far, Clean racing by all. It looks like Albert did manage to get the position. Unfortunately, we didn't see how that happened. He's up on top. Max Power is, though, right behind him. The rest of our crew trying to catch up, regaining. The closest battle that I could see would be Max Power, Neil Kerbal, and Alexander Sabo, Jacob Meyer. We'll probably be jumping around with Kyle Busch, who has an unfortunate mistake in turn 1, turn 2, or turn 3, because turn 1 is pretty much non-existent. Let's see what exactly happened to our Bushmeister right here. Hard on the brakes. Too deep on the brakes. Oh my, he must have misjudged his braking marker. Probably is accustomed to the dries, not much to the wet. Unfortunate though. He that cost him a lot of time. He's now currently sitting in 9th position, but he is right behind Justin Fry, who is not looking to give up this position so easily. He's going to be defending against Kyle Busch. Into the corkscrew, both each other were going. Kyle looked to have wanted to get the inside line. Couldn't make it happen. He did manage to force a mistake on Justin Fry. Went a little bit too deep, got wide. This allowed Kyle Busch to get right alongside and eventually passing him, as you'll see on the screen. Very nice move by Kyle Busch. Unfortunate by both drivers as they kind of go wide. Oh no, and as you'll see in the back, Justin Fry, small mistake one corner before. It's all it took to make him lose control. We'll jump from him though to Alexander Sabo, who is getting very, very close to Jacob Meyer, trying to reclaim the position, the P6 position. Jacob Meyer, though, for sure not going to be letting this happen as easily as Sabo would like. Will he be able to hold him off? We will be finding out as Alexander Sabo hits that bump very hard. I'm surprised he didn't get launched off that launched or just lost traction off that oh no, the curse. As soon as I said lost traction, Jacob Meyer touches the dirt just a tiny bit, or might have been some curb. He ended up losing traction, lost the position to Alexander Sabo and to Kyle Busch, who used the opportunity to sneak on by. Unfortunate for Jacob Meyer. That's a tough one to. You hate to see it, especially to one who is getting better and sticking with us, sticking with himself, learning how to get faster, which is what we love to see. As we'll see on the screen, Max Power gets the fastest lap at a 1:33.292. As we'll switch over to him as he goes wide into turn 3. Or turn 2, sorry. This is turn 3. He's getting very, very close. We'll go back a couple seconds and see what exactly happened. We're currently viewing the replay. Why he went very, very wide? I'm gonna assume he just braked a little bit too late. He's hard on the brakes here. Most likely he broke just a tad bit too late. A couple of feet of braking distance. That's all that really matters for all this to go down, as we will be jumping very quickly to the live view right now, ladies and gentlemen, as we have a fight for P1 on our hands. Max Power is dangerously close to Albert Tranchisi. Right behind him, Neil Kerbal is keeping his distance but closing the gap. I'm going to let these two battle it out, see exactly what happens. If you just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We are currently in Laguna Seca. It is heavily raining. It's the GT2 mini series and 5F5 racing. If you'd like to join us, you're more than welcome to hop on. This is a mini series though, so this is the second out of 3 races. This is more of a fun. I mean, it could be competitive. I mean, it is pretty competitive right now. A bunch of our drivers are getting very, very close. Max Power is still trying to close that gap, get closer and closer to Albert. Everyone else on the grid looks to have split up just a tad bit. As you can see on the screen to the right of all our drivers, this is the currently displayed as the gap between each driver ahead. So there is a healthy gap between all drivers, nothing too drastic. But besides Justin Fry, who had a big mistake a couple laps ago, yeah. Pretty much touched grass, or touched dirt, and lost traction. Nonetheless, if you'd like to join us, you're more than welcome to join us. We encourage it. Follow us on Discord if you've got any questions. We try to keep it friendly here, try to keep it competitive. The more the merrier. Especially with Season 6 approaching, we had a healthy grid in Season 5. I believe the most amount of drivers we had at one go was around 21 to 24. I can't recall the exact number, but it was a sizable grid. As Albert Tranchisi sets the newest fastest lap at a 1:32.972, blazingly fast. We love to see it. Pretty much trying to get away from Max Power, trying to not have the gap get as close as it was before, and to be honest, it's looking like it's happening. We have Albert Tranchisi here, who is leading the pack and leaving the pack. If Max Power can't catch up, this could be Neil's opportunity to go on the attack and reclaim or start fighting for P2. Nonetheless though, Albert looks to have gone a lot wide. Unfortunately, this might be the mistake that Max Power and Neil Kerbo needs to catch up just a tad bit. They won't fully catch up, but it'll be just enough to close the gap just a tiny bit. But as I was saying, it'll be interesting to see what everybody's pit strategies will be here. Is anyone going to take tires? I'm going to assume no one is going to take tires this time around. But what is everyone's fuel type? Did everyone remember to bring a healthy amount of gas as well? Jump to Justin Fry, who is again in the dirt. We'll go back a couple seconds and see what happened here, and he just lost all the grip. We'll try to get a better view. Looks like I might have gotten a little bit too excited on the throttle and just ended up wiping out just momentarily. Unfortunate for Justin Fry, having a bit of a rough time in the rain. Almost slided now, manages to control that slide. Nicely done. This is what we love to see. Nice controlled slides. No crashing here. Not many mistakes. Well, major mistakes to slow you down as well. Jump from him and check out the battle between Jeff Kelly and Brad Tarno. Jeff Kelly currently in 5th place. Brad Tarno in 4th place, doing a really good job in the KTM, handling the business. Jeff Kelly though says, I'm coming for that position. There is little you can do to stop me or try to stop me. And will that happen? I'm gonna say Brad is going to be fighting his heart out. Pretty sure to say he's not going to be giving up this position as easily as last time. The Max Power sets a new blazing fast lap at a 1:32.625. Him and Albert Tranchisi are going back and forth and trading out the fastest lap of the race. Either is getting more and more dry, which will mean everyone will be getting faster, and whoever is faster in the drives will start improving, and a bunch of positions are going to be exchanged throughout the whole race. Or our drivers are getting more acclimated to the wet weather, which is also nice to see, which hopefully in the end result will be a bunch more battles and a bunch more positions here thrown out. As currently the gap between Brad and Jeff is starting to get slightly further and further out. Our driver's still pretty close though. The next closest battle would be Alexander Sabo and Kyle Busch, who is trying to close that gap. Alexander Sabo just about 6 seconds behind Jeff Kelly. A bunch of our drivers very close to one another. They pretty much cannot afford to have a major mistake, or else the next driver behind them will be creeping up right behind them or potentially just passing them. As we'll jump and check out Kyle Busch, because he's getting very, very close to Alexander Sabo. I believe started in P4 before he had a rough start. Well, not a rough start. Can't say that. Near a rough start. Ended up catching a bit of too much water right here. Hit the brakes a little bit too late and went wide in turn 2. The Andretti hairpin. As he goes just a bit too wide, touches the grass heading into turn 3. Doesn't upset the car, still maintains control. This is what we love to see. He's getting very, very close to Alexander Sabo though. Sabo going to be trying to not let Kyle Busch through. Potentially try to get closer to Kelly. He is closing the gap. Unless Kelly made some sort of mistake. He was 6 seconds behind Kelly. Currently is 4.4. If he can get closer and closer, he can hold off and hold off Kyle Busch. This will be an interesting 3-way battle for P5. Currently is looking to be a battle for P6 between Alexander Sabo and Kyle Busch. As they go into the corkscrew. Yes. Can't remember off the top of my head, but it's something like I think it was like a 65 or 100-foot drop, or an elevation difference from the top to the bottom. So it's a pretty aggressive drop in the corkscrew. If you're not careful on how you're touching the throttle or how you're actively steering the car and stuff, you will wipe out, especially in the rain. It can be potentially dangerous. Not a corner you want to experience any mistakes in, especially with how close Alexander Sabo and Kyle Busch is. Kyle going just a bit too wide. Let's we'll jump from them and check out Justin Fry. It doesn't appear to have taken much damage or any damage at all. He might have just stayed there after making a mistake. Possibly went too wide, got stuck in the or caught in the gravel, the dirt, and just let our other fellow drivers through, who I believe was the podium guy, as he goes a little bit too wide in the corkscrew. A tiny mistake there. Managed to recover though. He wasn't going too fast, so able to recover. Justin Fry is having a rough time in the Laguna Seca, as he has another mistake. Not necessarily a good place to park. You could park there, but I believe that was Brad Tarno passing by. And Jeff Kelly as he's making his way though. He's clearing room, trying not to impede anyone's lap. Good on Justin Fry for doing that. Sucks to have to do that because of conditions such as that, but unfortunate. As we'll go back to the fight with Kyle Busch and Alexander Sabo. Kyle trying to make moves happen. So far, Alexander Sabo on the defense and not letting Kyle Busch. I had a brain fart for a moment. Not letting our fellow driver try to get around. Kyle Busch on the outside. Alexander Sabo on the inside. Going on the defense. Side by side. Leaving the space. Excellent driving by both these drivers. As they're going to go still side by side into the fast left-hander. Kyle Busch seizes the opportunity to slightly squeeze him out. Reclaim or P6. Very nice driving by Kyle Busch. Unfortunate for Alexander Sabo, who lost out on this exchange. Probably did not want to risk a potential collision. Better to be safer than sorry, especially in the rain. Anyone can slip out, wipe out, and you'll lose a ton of positions because of that. Kyle Busch, though, he's approaching, I believe it's Justin Fry. It is Justin Fry. Justin Fry on the outside, pretty much giving way to our driver, not trying to slow him down. He goes hard on the brakes, going wide to allow Alexander Sabo to go through. Very nice of Justin Fry. We'd love to see some good racing like this. Oh my, he just zooms on by. What's going on? Having a little bit of a fight there now between Alexander Sabo and Justin Fry. What happened to Kyle Busch? He lost a position. Reclaimed the position. I want to go back and see the replay, but they are actively going back and forth on this battle. It looks like Kyle Busch's problem corner for this race is turn 2. Turn 1 is basically right after you cross the start-finish line. There's a small left-hand kink. It's turn 1 just because of that. And turn 2 is the Andretti hairpin, which is where he was at. It seems like Kyle Busch is having more issues in that area. It'll be interesting to see how Alexander Sabo is going to challenge Kyle Busch. As we'll see, he gets blasted by that spray. Not hardly able to see with Kyle Busch just right in front of him, roughly a second in front of him. As he goes, Kyle Busch goes slightly wide. Alexander Sabo has a sharper line, keeping up right behind Kyle Busch. This seems like a battle that is going to go the distance. First person to make the mistake is Kyle Busch right now, who almost lost it in that corner. This gives Alexander Sabo a run to get ever so close. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 40 minutes or 39 and 50 seconds right now. Alexander Sabo and Kyle Busch are heading into turn 6. A very quick left-hander. It's almost looking like they were going side by side. Sabo decides against it though. Probably couldn't see because of the huge blast of water coming from Kyle Busch. As we're watching Kyle Busch's rear, seeing out exactly what Alexander Sabo is doing from his point of view. Before I lose my train of thought, if you heard on the screen, the pit window is now open. It's, 20 minutes are up. We are currently 38 minutes and 55 seconds into the race. The pit window opens up in the 40-minute, well, after the first 20 minutes, and closes 20 minutes thereafter. So there is a brief moment where all our drivers are allowed to to use this pit window to clear their pits. If you crash out or something happens before the pit window opens, you're still allowed to go ahead and pit to repair damages or get fuel or get tires or whatever it may be that you need to get done before you get back onto the grid. You can still do it, but it will not clear the pit window unless the actual pit window timing is open. And I am wondering now, because I believe Justin Fry had a mistake in near the final corner, turn 11. He took out some of the brake markers. I'm wondering if that is going to be throwing off any of our drivers, which would make this race slightly bit more interesting. Seeing that is one of our key action areas, turn 10 and 11. Currently watching Neo Kerbal trying to get close to max power. Doing a very, very good job sticking to max power, not giving him any breathing room. Albert Tranchisi still in P1. Ever so slowly extending the gap between him, Max Power, and Neo and the rest of the grid. Driving very, very good. Totally what we'd love to see as he heads into the corkscrew. We're going to watch from his point of view what his lines is. How he manages to get the speed. Keep the speed. Especially in the wet. Well, a fairly difficult track to race in Laguna Seca, where we're in today. Even more difficult with the wet conditions that we have today. It's a lot wetter than normal. Pretty much looks like it's a torrential downpour. I'm surprised we haven't seen lightning yet. As he breaks deep into turn 2. Hits those apexes very nicely. Hard into turn 3. Overall, very smooth driving by Albert. Neo Kerbal still trying to get close to max power. This is a battle that we will keep our eye out. If he gets a little bit closer, we'll quickly jump over to them and check them out as well. We'll start exploring the grid and give a bunch of our other drivers some limelight. As we're jumping into Jacob Meyer, who's currently sitting in P8. Had a very good positioning and lost it due to driver error. Just made a slight bit mistake. His mistake was after turn 5. He touched the dirt ever so slightly, caused him to spin out. Let a few of our drivers by. Cost him 2 positions if I remember correctly. Unfortunate for Jacob Meyer. Very good driving regardless though. As I said, he has been getting better, he has been getting faster, and I'm wondering how hard it is to drive the Audi, because if I remember correctly, from what I hear, everyone says the GT3 Audi, as he hits those bumps aggressively, the GT3 Audi is a handful to drive. I'm wondering if the GT2 Audi is the same way. And if it is, it's kudos to Meyer, because he's handling it, and if it's a difficult car to handle, then by all be, like, that's impressive, especially in the rain. We'll jump from him and check out where Justin Fry is as he heads into the corkscrew. And a little late on the brakes heading into the corkscrew, but not too much damage done. As he has a mistake happen live. We saw it happen. Like I said, rough moments for Justin Fry. Unfortunate. Nonetheless, a good learning moment, I guess you can say. He's going to be heading into the pits, I see. Not a bad idea. I know after a bunch of mistakes, I would have just went in there myself. Used the time to take a chill pill, relax, calm myself and gather my thoughts. Come back out extremely strong. I love the love his train of thought. If that's what he's doing, heck yeah. Jump to him to Alexander Sabo in the KTM. For whatever reason, that the there's something about the striping or the way his livery is set up. Maybe it's just the face of the whole car. It's I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but it's giving me like a Ferrari vibes. At least the color scheme. Maybe not Ferrari. Something flashy, but very sleek looking. You guys know, go ahead and let me know in the chat if you like. Or not. It's okay. We love lurkers here. As Alexander Sabo isn't doing too bad of a job to stay within an arm's reach of Kyle Busch, who is leaving Alexander Sabo. As we see one of our drivers on screen, Jeff Kelly, make a massive mistake. Hits the bump aggressively coming out of the corkscrew, loses 2 positions, smashes into the wall. We'll go back and check out the review. The replay. What exactly happened here? Oh, it just lost a bit of traction heading into the last corner of the corkscrew, the downhill section. Pretty much initiated a spin out and lost control from there. Didn't hit the wall too hard though, so luckily not much damage sustained. That did cost him some positions though, 2 to be exact. Brad Tarno, no, Kyle Busch and Alexander Sabo managed to go by. As the camera angle for this car is still tragic on the Maserati, you can pretty much see absolutely nothing. We're gonna work on that and see what exactly can be done to fix that. The bumper camera though is looking a-okay. As Alexander Sabo is still up on top, up in the front. Going to be jumping from Jeff Kelly and going to Brad Tarno, who is doing an amazing job. Went from the Mercedes to the KTM. I did not like the way the Mercedes handles, as he's entering the pits now. Did not like the way the Mercedes handles. Kyle Busch is also going into the pits. A bunch of a bunch of our drivers going into the pits. So I'm wondering, well, Alexander and Jeff Kelly, everyone's going into the pits today, or right this lap. But like I said, our driver here, Brad Tarno, did not like the Mercedes and decided to drive the KTM, and is doing a really good job, if I may say, handling the car very well in the rain and during these tough conditions. Currently in 4th position. Nice to see. We're currently watching Neil Kerbal go around the track. Our last race winner is Suzuka. Wondering what the pit strategy for the top guys will be. Currently, he is closing the gap between him and Max Power. Roughly 1.5 seconds behind him. Very nice to see that consistency is playing a key role in both of these drivers. He's keeping Max Power extremely honest. If Max makes the tiniest of mistakes, it's going to hurt him big. Speaking of which, it's interesting to see that Albert is losing his pace. To see now, he's either losing his pace, made a mistake, or Max Power and Neil Kerbal are getting faster and faster trying to catch up. Nonetheless, he is roughly 3.5-ish seconds ahead of Max Power. A couple laps ago, it was about 5, so wondering what exactly happened to Albert. Interesting to know, as Max Power decides that this current moment is a good idea to go ahead and pit. Potentially going for the undercut, as we see Max Power to the right, currently watching Neil Kerbal. Kyle Busch exiting the pits. Is that, yeah, that is Kyle Busch exiting the pits, currently in P7. Neil in P2. If we switch to our race gaps, our pit stops, we will see right now, ladies and gentlemen. What a bad example. On the screen it says no one has their pits done. This is absolutely terrible. Anyways, I will let you know, ladies and gentlemen. Only 3 of our drivers have not completed their pit. That is Albert Tranchese, Neil Kerbal, and Jacob Meyer. They currently have 6 minutes left to complete their pit. If they do not pit within these 6 minutes, it is going to be I'm not sure exactly what will happen. I'm pretty sure they will get heavily penalized, if not disqualified, which will absolutely suck and hurt, especially with the positioning that they're in right now. Albert Tranchese in first place, Neil Kerbal. Albert taking his pit right now. Neil Kerbal in first place. Jacob Meyer in 4th place. So both these 2 drivers, Neil Kerbal and Jacob Meyer, need to be pitting ASAP. Currently 5 minutes left in the race. Or 5 minutes. 25 minutes left in the race, but the pit window is still open for 5 minutes. I guess something interesting to point out, as a bunch of our drivers are going back out onto the track. I switched it back to race gaps. Currently, well, go check out Max Power, who is getting very close to one of our drivers. Up ahead, is that Albert? Oh, it's Albert. He must have did a splash and dash. He got in and out of the pit super quick. Max Power not too far from Albert, 2 seconds roughly. It'll be interesting to see if they can keep up this distancing, this gap. And as this was happening, I completely lost my train of thought about what was going on. Or out and about. Near Kerbal, though, either listening to the stream or going into the pits. Nice on him. He's going to be clearing his pit. I'm wondering if the splash and dash strategy is going to play an effect right now. And it is. Splash and dash right there. Jeff Kelly passing Neil. There is Albert. Will Max be able to get by him? Where is Max? Did Albert pass? No, wait, who was the other driver? That is Albert. There's Max. Who was the other green KTM-ish looking vehicle? Oh man. Nonetheless, Neil manages to have a good recovery as well. Go to Brad Tarno, who has a really bad mistake. Parked in the middle of the road. Not recommended to do that, especially when you have drivers coming head on first. We'll check the replay, see what happened. Just went a little bit too wide on coming out of turn 6. Luckily though, Kyle Busch managed to see that. We're currently viewing the replay. And went on by. So good on him. Good on him to avoid that accident, that incident. As we'll jump to Albert and Max Power here. I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Something about gap. There's another greenish looking KTM. Neil Kerbo managed to have the perfect pit stop. That's what I was getting at. Managed to pit later than both these gentlemen. And get the position. Get P1. Albert Tranchisi must have taken a little bit more fuel or something must have happened for him to lose what was just about 4 seconds in the pits, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a considerable amount of time, especially meaning that he lost P1 because of this. And it's good to update, let everyone know that our fellow driver, Jacob Meyer, is finally entering the pits. Did he have an incident of some sorts in the pit? Not too sure, but he's finally entering the pits. He's going to be clearing the pit, the pit number, pit timer. As we will go back because there was a position change between Albert Tranchisi and Neil Kerbo. I want to see what exactly happened. Oh, Neil just went extremely wide. This happened off camera right there. He went a little bit wide, lost the speed. This allowed Albert to seize the opportunity and pass him, heading into the corkscrew. A very good move by Albert to see that happen in front of him and use the opportunity to get right by him. Unfortunate for him though, he is getting blocked off by Neil Kerbo, who Albert just had a slight mistake, went a little bit too wide. This fight for P1 is getting extremely heated. As you also might have heard, the pit window is now closed. Nonetheless, all our drivers had cleared their pits, so no one will be getting heavily penalized or probably potentially DQ'd. As these drivers are heading into turn 5, Neil Kerbo trying to defend against Albert Tranchisi. Max Power trying to get involved in this menage a trois, seeing what exactly is going to happen. Potentially zoom on by both these drivers and claim P1. As they head into the corkscrew, this can be potentially dangerous. All our drivers keeping on their toes, keeping everyone honest. No one wants to make a potential race-ending mistake, especially so late into the race. There's currently 19 minutes left in the race as we're heading into the final lap. Sorry, the final corner. into the longest straight. This straight is 1,126 feet long. Hard on the brakes, Neo Curveball and the rest of our crew go. Looks like Albert might be going wide just a tad bit. Max sticking right behind him. Oh, Max making a mistake though, going a lot wide. This is going to ruin his opportunity or his chance to get involved into the P1, the battle for P1. However, this is an opportunity for Albert to know that he has breathing room behind him. He needs to focus up and potentially force a mistake on near Kerbal, as our drivers are going to be heading into the corkscrew. That's not to say that Max Power is out, knocked out, down and out. He's still very fast, very quick. He can potentially catch up to both these drivers. It's just going to be very difficult with 17 and a half-ish minutes left in the race in this downpour of a condition that we have. And they head into the front straight. I guess our back straight would be the Rent Hall straight, which is the straight heading into the corkscrew. As they head into turn 2, exiting turn 2. Turn 3 is coming up. There's no real corner names besides a couple of these corners. Good to know. Like the corner coming up is turn 4. They haven't really given that a name yet. Turn 5. I mean, we could call this Mother's Corner since we have the Mother's Polish Waxes and Cleaners billboard or banner up there. And this turn 6 could be VP Racing Corner in Laguna Seca. Just give out a random corner that's there. Now they're heading into the round straight. Neo Kerbal has an impressive slide that he manages to control as he heads into the corkscrew along with the rest of our drivers. Turn 7 and 8. Rainy Curve is turn 9. This is Rainy Curve right now. Turn 10 is a nameless. No corner name for there, and turn 11 is this final corner. As Albert is heading to the pits once again. Did he forget to oh no. He had a drive-through. Wow, what an unfortunate series of events. He was doing so great from our point of view, but somehow he managed to, I believe, get a drive-through. That sucks. This, as we'll jump from into Brad Tarno, who had the yellow flag, white flag, who is now slowed down. We'll go back 20 seconds in a couple seconds here, see what exactly happened. We're currently viewing the replay. Oh, he just wiped out. Got a little throttle happy. Car did not like it. Pretty much sent him to the wall just a tad bit. Not too much damage though. That's good to know, or it's good to see. As we go back into the live view, he's right behind Jeff Kelly, who managed to take the opportunity to pass Brad Tarno. Not too far, Brad is. Who is behind Brad? I believe that might be Jacob. Neil? It is Neil. So Neil has, well, Brad has a yellow flag, blue flag, so Neil is going to get along or get by him very quickly or very easily. Assuming they respect the rules, which he did, of course. our fellow, our other former streamer. Give him some love. He's going to be approaching Jeff Kelly, who I believe will also have a blue flag, so he will be giving up the position probably along after this turn. Probably not. If he gives it up here, he's going to be inviting a battle with Brad very quickly. I'm not sure where or when he's going to give up that position, but as the gap gets closer and closer, Neil Kerbo will be going around him. Probably here into the corkscrew. He's going to lose a lot of speed though. This is going to invite Brad Tarnow potentially the opportunity to get right alongside him and right to reclaim his P6 position, as he's now a second and a little bit over a second right behind Jeff Kelly. As sitting in the passenger seat is pretty much just orienting as he goes a bit wide. Manages to get control. He was losing it for a second there. Good to see that nothing came about. Hits that bump though. That's not the greatest. This sucks. That sucked for Brad, as but it goes a lot wide here once again. Man, I need to relax with my streamer curse. Max Power using that opportunity though to get by, as he's trying to get close to Neil Kerbal, who wasn't dominating the race, but like a true underdog was coming in first. I guess is an underdog. Not really. He won the last race. He's pretty much here just sneaking on by, snagging first place right now. There's 11 minutes left in the race. There is no telling what exactly is going to be happening as he approaches Kyle Busch. Most likely Kyle Busch is going to let him by along the straight. I believe would be the safest route or safest spot. Right here is where I would leave. Yeah, and he does. He goes just a tad bit too wide. As he flashes Neil Kerbal. Nonetheless, what is a Max Power doing? He is right behind Jeff Kelly and Kyle Busch. He's trying very, very hard to close the gap. He's currently roughly 4 seconds away from Neil Kerbal. Not sure if, given by the current pace and traffic conditions and weather conditions, if it'll actually be possible. I mean, nothing is impossible, especially with the amount of rain that we have currently. Potentially Max Power will be able to catch up if Neil Kerbal has a big enough mistake. It looked like there was potentially some contact between Max Power and Kyle Busch. It looks like both drivers got through cleanly. Kyle Busch going a little bit too wide. Hopefully not going to be... And he doesn't. Okay, so that's good to see. His mistake didn't cost him a lot in terms of pace and positioning. It's not a great spot to go wide in, especially on a downhill section. You can lose a lot of traction in the rain. Just so many things can go wrong. The next closest battle, though, is Kyle Busch and Jeff Kelly. Jeff Kelly allows Max Power to get through, but in doing so, because he lost the top end speed, Kyle Busch is seizing the opportunity to try to get past him. He doesn't do it in turn 2, but turn 3 is a new turn. Will he be able to do it? They're side by side. Jeff Kelly is not very high. Just manages to give up the position ever so slightly. Kyle Busch having the better line, forcing him out. Kyle Busch going now wide. This is going to invite Jeff Kelly to be side by side into the left-hander. Not a particularly nice left-hander either. There's not much space to go wide as Kyle Busch is gaining control of the vehicle. What amazing driving. Unfortunate that he was able to lost control because he went a little bit too wide in the dirt, the gravel there. Very good for Jeff to seize the opportunity to get ahead and create some distance, hopefully allowing or encouraging Brad Tarno to get right next to Kyle Busch and force him to battle him and to potentially slow down and let Jeff right here just run away with it. We have 7 minutes left. Barring any other mistakes, it is looking like Neil Kerbal, Max Power, and Albert Tranchisi. Those are our podium boys for tonight. Alexander Sabo taking P4. Very, very nice to see. We'll jump to him. He's pretty much alone on his own. Minding his own business, having a little Sunday cruise in the rain. As he's about to enter turn 11. The final corner for Laguna Seca. We're gonna jump from him and check out Kyle Busch, who had a mistake. It looked like he had a mistake in the corkscrew. Having potentially a rough time as conditions appear to be getting worse. Maybe tire degradation or tire pressure is playing a role in this. But he is losing pace to Jeff Kelly. Jeff Kelly is slowly getting away. Currently about a 3-second gap between them. This is or can be Brad's opportunity though to... it will be Brad's opportunity. As unfortunately Kyle goes way too wide. Brad is using this opportunity to get on by. As you see Kyle in the background is currently viewing Brad right now. Mr. Tarno. Good driving by Brad to stick close. Very unfortunate series of events. And potentially some streamers curse. What happened to Kyle Busch? I mean, if you saw it in the background, he's in the pits now. This will be worth investigating later on. He might have had some pedal difficulties. We can probably pull it up into the replay. And the answer is no, we cannot pull it up into the replay. Because now he's sitting in the pits. We can, however, watch Max Power go around before we jump into the live view. There we go. Well, we semi-missed the incident with Kyle Busch. I'm assuming it was a pedal delay or mistake, I guess you can say. It appeared that he just lost all control, and for whatever reason he lost that control, this just made him smash into the wall. Terrible. Not a like terrible, let's see, he's terrible, but a terrible mistake or a terrible issue to encounter, especially mid-race. Nonetheless, 3 minutes left in the race, ladies and gentlemen. If you're still here with me, thank you for sticking by. Hopefully I did not bore you. Currently viewing Max Power, who has the fastest lap in the entire race. I swear right now currently it says his best lap is a 134.807, but I remember seeing a 132 somewhere in the beginning of the race, or near the beginning of the race, so I'm not sure what exactly is going on. He isn't closing the gap with Neil Kerbal, though. Neil is using full advantage, or taking full advantage of the clean air he has in front of him, and getting away as much as possible without having too many mistakes. As you'll see behind him, you can barely make out Max Power, who is still... He's within an arm's reach, a really long arm's reach, but still there. One mistake is all it takes for Max Power to take home the podium, the top spot. We'll jump to Jacob Meyer, who has a yellow flag. We can go back a couple seconds and investigate. Brad Tarno also having a yellow flag. Jacob losing it there. Brad... not sure where... oh, right there. So we'll go back into the live view.
Okay, the leader is on the final lap now. Give it all you can.
Jacob Meyer, not too much worse for the wear. Brad Tarno having just a couple scuffs on his bumper, but not too bad. Kyle Busch still remaining in the pits. Unfortunate. Justin Fry back on the track. Trying to clear up the final lap of the race. As we have Neil still leading. Max Power right behind him. Neil almost has a mistake in the last lap. Hits that bump aggressively, almost launched the car up on two wheels. He could pretty much potentially play it safe this whole lap, but he has enough space to slow down just a tad bit to secure the win. Or it appears that he does. No other driver currently is close enough for a battle, so we can just view everyone else head into the corkscrew before we jump back into Neil as we see him cross the start-finish line. And here you go, ladies and gentlemen, our winner for race 2 is Neil Kerbal. His second win in a row. In P2 we had Max Power. Very nice job. In P3 we have Albert, who is going to be momentarily crossing. Oh, what a bad position to be parked in. Sir, you can't park there. Thank you. Thank you for moving your vehicle. Oh no, well, this cost him P4? I wonder. I'm having a bit of a rough time trying to navigate out of this sticky situation that he's in. I mean, well, this cost him P3, sorry, and get him P4. The answer is no. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. P3, Albert Tranchisi. Secured ID smashes into the wall out of frustration. Don't damage your car, dude. That's an expensive KTM. Alexander Savo. Almost crossing the start-finish line. He is in P4. Justin Fry, I believe, is right next to him. He has P9. Jeff Kelly has P5. Brad Parno, P6. Jacob Meyer, P7. And Kyle Busch in P8. Well, a rough start to the stream. But nonetheless, we got through it. I hope to see you guys once again next week. Before we go, I can go ahead and try to encourage more people to join us. This is the 5fi-racing.com website. That's 5, the number 5, racing.com. As soon as you hit enter, you'll be loaded onto here. You can follow us on Discord, Twitch, subscribe on YouTube. Drop some comments in Twitch or YouTube. It'll be fun for me to read them, potentially. And check us out on Instagram and Reddit too. We're going into SimGrid and we're gonna speed run the registration. Right now we're currently in the GT2 Championship Season 1. It's a little mini series that we have 3 rounds. You can just hit register on the top right, the big red button, select the class, select your car, select your number, grab all the notifications you want, agree and register. I'm not gonna do it because I am streaming. But that's all there is to it, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, thank you for being here, for sticking with me, for watching the stream. I hope you guys have an amazing day, the rest of your night, or day, depending on where you are. I believe our last race is in Watkins Glen, so if you're a Watkins Glen fan, you do not want to miss next week's race. Once again, thank you for being here. I love y'all. Please come back. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great night.